Hello, let's continue with our interview section. For those of you who noticed that the previous video it was a little bit funny at the end, I'm sorry and I apologize for that. Is what happened was that I got a little bit of allergic reaction at the end of the video. It's actually not meant to be the end of the video. I'm supposed to continue through the whole this video as well, but I had to stop the video in the middle of the way because I have to go to clean up my eyes and allergic reaction, treat the allergic reaction quickly. But anyhow, let's continue with the rest of our interview section. I need to wear these sunglasses for the next 5 minutes or so, and then we can move on. It's just a little bit change of the theme here, right? I think it's kind of cool. Men in Black, that's how it works. Now, let's have a look at the type of the interview. There are two types in total. So the first one, we're going to talk about the structure interview. So the structure interview, we are talking about when the interview has been structured, has been planned. The question that we're going to be asking our candidate has been planned. Here will be question A, B, C, and D. So the question are fixed and it will be the same throughout, candidate 1, 2, and 3. So we will get the same standard type of question. We get to feel how each of the candidate answer to the question, which is the same question. So we can measure how good they are, right? It could be in terms of the scenario as well. We might be able to give the fixed scenario to the candidate. For example, let's say if it's in sale, I might say, sell me this clicker, and you have to sell me this clicker. So, the candidate might have 5 minutes to sell this clicker, but in short, it's actually fixed in terms of what the candidate have to do. And the second type of interview is called loose-end interview, or another word is unstructured interview. So this one is flexible. So we might say to the candidate that, okay, you got 15 minutes to impress me. So here we go, off you go 15 minutes. You can do whatever you want to impress us, to make us think that you are the right candidate, all right? So that is an unstructured interview. In doing so, we will be able to see the creativity from the candidate. We will be able to see what's good about the candidate in terms of the negotiation level, communication skill, or like innovative skill and that type of thing. So those are the things that we can see from the candidate in terms of the unstructured interview. But eventually, the good things about doing interview is that the first thing first is we can get to create networking, create relationship, and build trust. We get to see each other's eyes. You can't see my eyes now, but you will see it soon. We get to build relationship because, frankly speaking, before the interview, we already look at your CV. We have seen your CV, have seen your selection criteria. And during the interview, we might ask you some question just to test your knowledge, to test how you're going to respond, and to see whether can we build the relationship between you and me. Because the point is that if we can build the relationship with our seller, then hopefully this seller can build the relationship with our client when he or she have to go and propose a client, all right? Some of the benefit of the interview are as follows. So the first one, apart from build trust and build networking, is that we get to see the person. We might interview someone from Perth. So if we get this person to fly here, we get to see him, talk to him, get to know her, talk to her, can see communication skill, can check the time management, look at the time management, look at the problem solving skill, look at the networking skill, looking at the negotiation skill, test all the other type of skill and aspect. We might be able to run, let's say, role play simulation, sell me this pen. We ask them to, let's say if it's in terms of a lecturer type of job, like what am I doing, they might ask you to, show us a mini lecture in terms of how you're gonna lecture to the student and ask some other type of questions. So you can do role play, simulation, and some other type of testing as well, okay? Here are some of the interview questions that we might get a lot. Typically, it's to do with testing your knowledge. Testing whether how much do you know about the job, how much do you know about this service provider. In terms of your personality, look at your ethics, look at your decision maker, and lastly, or second last, looking at your sales skill, because we're doing something in sales, right? So all of this question to test your sales skill, to test your personality, to build trust and relationship. Here are some of the, according to our research by Hare 2008, he also recommend that here are some of the questions that you could ask to ask Let's say if you are a candidate, here are some of the questions that you can ask back to the interview group. Okay, so some of this is like, what is the likelihood of relocation, and so on and so on and so, that type of thing. Now, personality, to me, I will not ask this type of question because to me, I feel like it shows that if I ask something to do with about the job aspect, it's showing that I did not do enough research. So as a seller, I should do homework before I approach the client, and I will treat that the same thing to the interview. If I get a chance to go to the interview, I will not ask most of this question. I will not ask the benefit that I will get from my job, because technically I should know that before I come to this interview. So if I ask this question, it will show that I did not do enough homework or research about my current job. So it won't impress the people. Instead, I should be asking some question to show that I'm interested on this job. I am passionate about this job. For example, I could ask something like, what are you looking for from a successful candidate? I asked the same question when I went for the job interview at Griffith. I could ask like, what will be the next step? What's going to happen next? So try to show that I'm eager to go to the next process. All right. So if this is like a long listed, they will say, it will take another week or two for us to do all the long listed before do the background check and moving on to the shortlisted people in that type. Okay. Some other question that the interview board asks a lot to us is, why do you choose our brand? Why do you choose us? I got this a lot too. I went in my career, I went to about 15, 20 interviews in the past. I also served in the interview shortlisting board. So we actually asked a set of questions. And one of the questions that we asked to everybody is that, why do you choose us? And the reason why we ask them is we want to see how much homework have they done. Also, what are some of the value that they can add to our company. Griffith also asked me this question, why do I choose Griffith? And personally, at the time, I did not have a perfect answer. So my answer at the time was, I haven't made the decision yet. I haven't made the decision that I will join Griffith if I get a job offer. I said to them that I'm searching for a workplace that is serious about research, that is serious about teaching in marketing. And after which I will make a decision. So that was my answer as well. And another thing is that try not to make a lie during the interview. For example, I give you one example. There were a time that during an interview at Griffith once again, the interview panel asking me, tell us how you're gonna get a big research grant. And in fact, I received $0 before I joined Griffith in terms of research grant. So I got two options really. First option is to make a lie. I just, make something bullshit. I just say, I got so and so dollars from so and so, which is not a good option because we get to find out soon or later. And second option, I just say, I'm sorry, I don't have research grant at all, which again create a bad impression about myself that I don't have, I haven't meet one of the criteria. So instead, I've been thinking for about 5 seconds at the time because, we have not much time. And I replied back. The person who asked me at the time was the deputy head of marketing. He asked me, tell us what is your strategy or plan to get a big research grant? So I think for 5 seconds, I look at his face and I say to him that I will put your name, which is I will put his name into my grant application. So hopefully that since he is a professor in marketing, he will be able to help me to get a big research grant. So that question was like a very honest answer from my end, and it's kind of built like an funny atmosphere in the room, and which is frankly speaking is the best practice to do in the business as well, to put someone that well known and to learn someone who is well known in the market. So that is a very good example of the reply to the question that we should not lie or cannot say no to it. All right, so that is an example. Here are some of the example of the reason why we don't get a job. So the first one is failure to build a relationship or the trust. As I mentioned, very important aspect of doing an interview is to create trust and networking, to create a relationship, to build trust. And second, that is someone is lying, it's lie during the interview. Someone will find out soon or later. Or if he or she not find out, yourself will feel bad. And in the future, you might not be able to meet that requirement, or someone else find out along the line and you might have to resign or get fired, and that even worse. And next one is that fail to communicate. So we can't talk. As a seller, we need to talk. So we talk a lot, do negotiation. So without talking, we don't get our job. And without talking, most likely you will not get your sales job. All right. And this is a conclusion of the second video. Thank you.